So guys, Redbar, it's pretty freaking cool. Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Budding Watch Enthusiast. So very recently, I got to have one of my most fun experiences so far in my very short time collecting watches, and that is attending my very first Redbar event. So if you don't know what Redbar is, Redbar was a monthly meetup between two guys in New York City that snowballed into a weekly gathering with dozens of watch enthusiasts, which has since expanded into a huge organization that has individual chapters all over the world. So obviously my local Baltimore chapter is one that I got in contact with a few months ago, and I haven't been able to make any of the events until this one a couple of weeks ago in Annapolis. One of the things I've talked about in this channel before is to kind of heighten the experience watch collecting is to experience it with other watch enthusiasts. I found that this hobby has been much more enriching once I started attending like watch fairs and meetups and stuff like that than it was beforehand. And I'll talk about a couple of reasons why in this video. Real quick, a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing the Manta SkyQuest today that I got a few weeks ago, still really enjoying my time with this watch. Now, the obvious benefit to going to like a meetup like this is to experience different watches that you wouldn't normally be able to. That is certainly a part of it, but to me, it's secondarily important to getting to interact with the other people that are there. With a group like Redbar, you kind of never know what you're going to get in terms of the type of collectors most people are. It's really interesting too, because obviously my collection, I don't really have like a theme or like a direction that my collection's going in, because I just started this pretty recently still. But it's kind of wild to go out there and just see other collectors and kind of how their collections, like a lot of folks have collections that have a very like distinct theme or very specific types of watches that they like. Like there was a gentleman there who had a huge collection of vintage Universal Genève chronographs, which is not something that I would ever expect anyone to specifically make a note to collect. And it's great because you have such a wide range of different types of collectors that comes to meet up like this. But even despite that, there's not really any snobbery. Like everyone there is just really enthusiastic and really passionate about watches in general. It wasn't about like how much does this watch cost or how rare is this vintage watch. It's just a passion about watches. My Bull of a Lunar Pilot, which cost only a couple $100, was getting just as much attention and just as much interest from folks as a pre-Daytona Rolex chronograph that's extremely rare and hard to find. If you guys are like me, you guys probably don't have any really close friends or family members that are as enthusiastic or passionate about this hobby as you are. So having this opportunity and having groups that you can go to, that you can just kind of, chill with people in an intimate setting, and again, just talk about watches and get to know these folks and hear the stories behind some of the watches that they brought with them, is just really cool and really fun to do. And it's a way to kind of heighten your knowledge, to broaden your experience. And it was just a really, really good time. And I mean, forums are fine. Like I know probably the majority of folks interact with each other on watch forums, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I mean, it's a way to interact with a lot of people, but I've never really been a forum guy in anything that I've been passionate about, because to me, forums are really impersonal, and then there's also like a level of toxicity that you don't see all the time, but can definitely develop in certain areas and certain threads and stuff like that, that I honestly just prefer to avoid if at all possible. Like I said, it's just refreshing to be able to, just kind of talk shop with people that love this hobby as much as you do and are as knowledgeable about this hobby, or more knowledgeable in the case of me right now, because obviously I haven't been doing this that long. There are lots of folks out there that have been collecting much longer, that have a much wider knowledge base. That's great for me because I get to learn and just kind of be exposed to stuff that I wouldn't normally get to see. So I would encourage you heavily, if you have a local Redbar chapter, or if you have another watch group that meets regularly near you, or if you don't, maybe even start one. And kind of, if you're good at organizing that kind of stuff, I am not. But I definitely do encourage you, if it's a possibility, to do that if you've never done it before, at least once, just to kind of experience it. I really don't think that you'll be disappointed if you do, because again, every one of these type of things that I've been to, I've had nothing but an awesome time going to it. Now that being said, the watches are, of course, a huge reason to go as well, to check out and experience all sorts of things that you've never seen before or may never have even thought that you would see ever. So the setting here was at a restaurant in Annapolis called Harry Brown's, right outside in the ring around the State House down there. And really cool setting, really intimate setting, very small space that's designed for kind of like private gatherings just like this. But a very cool place to kind of get to experience my first one of these, I would say. So again, I talked about, Universal Genève and that collection that I wouldn't have expected to see. The same gentleman also had a very rare vintage Hoyer Altavia with a really, really cool color scheme that he was actually looking to sell. It was very, very cool looking, especially under the loom. Also a vintage Breitling Navitimer that looked fantastic as well. There was this JLC really military diving chronograph that I've never even seen from them before. That was a really cool thing. Lots of vintage stuff here too. Again, you never know what's going to be brought, whether it's this beautiful vintage Seamaster, a bevy of different Rolex GMT Masters brought with folks as well. A vintage Speedy here that you guys can also see, which again in impeccable condition, just a beautiful, beautiful watch. I did talk about the pre-Daytona Rolex chronograph that someone brought with them. This is a James Bond watch, by the way, from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. A couple different vintage Tudor subs, including a Snowflake sub, which was really awesome to see. This Speedmaster that you guys are seeing here, this is actually a special edition celebrating the Tokyo Olympics in 2020 that the gentleman had to go to Japan to actually pick up, which is very neat. Also got to check out a gorgeous Rolex Explorer Mark II, and also this white dial Daytona as well. Now, the watch that I came away really most impressed with, and I wasn't expecting to be impressed with this watch, was this beautiful Grand Seiko 20th anniversary. I never really much cared for Grand Seiko as a brand before. I just love the beautiful guilloche pattern that you see there on the dial. Just a gorgeous watch. And the thing that I discovered in this event is that Grand Seiko, it has some really impeccable finishing. It's one of those things that folks don't talk about and that I don't think that you can appreciate online as much. But yeah, just a really beautiful watch. This watch definitely put Grand Seiko on my radar as a brand that now I'm a little bit more interested in that I never really paid much mind to before. And of course here, the watch pile or sex pile as it's known, where all the watches brought get to be piled up together. And of course the pic at the end, everyone having fun tossing on a watch that isn't theirs, just to celebrate the fun time that we had. So again, if anyone from the Redbar Baltimore crew is watching this video, thank you guys so much for making it an awesome experience. I'm really looking forward to the next one because, again, I just had a fantastic time just meeting folks and, again, hearing some of the awesome stories behind some of the watches that they got to bring with them as well. So again, guys, if you have a local Red Bar chapter or any kind of other meetup group that meets near you, I would highly recommend experiencing it at least one time. I've never had anything but a wonderful time going to meetups like this. And again, it's something that I'm looking to do much more regularly in the future. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it informative or entertaining, do me a favor and hit the like button down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, thank you for checking it out. Click the red subscribe button down there and ring the bell icon so you never miss when I post a new video. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram as well, all you have to do is seek out @buddingwatchenthusiast and click the follow button there. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you all the next time.